Hello, beautiful, amazing, fantastic world, and you, wonderful, beautiful individual you. Today, I would like to speak about conscious, steady inwardness while also working outwards. That means you as a spirit, as the center of your own inner being, are always aware that you are embedded in this reality in a sense. You do not disappear in a daydream or in a mist or in something hazy and undefinable, but you truly hold yourself awake, aware, sensing, so you always sense your own inner emotions and observe your own thoughts. It really is about holding one's own inner being and aura as polished and as in focus and awakeness as possible. For, as I have mentioned, what we do hold and reside within our own inner being can be healthy or unhealthy. So, based on, the perspective of health, the thinking, feeling, and will that comes thereafter often indicates how we grow, where we go, what we experience, who we meet, and what we learn, and so on. For having the proper inner warmth, gratitude, but also a certain openness so that you can actually receive impulses of inspiration and utilize your imagination in a much more insightful and effective way. Of course, imagination needs to be practiced. That means pure thinking. Using your spirit, use your thoughts to cooperate with thought beings to shape and form different variations of perspectives and observations based on what's needed. It really is about how flexible can you make your imagination and how awake can you make it to the spiritual so you can connect these so it doesn't become just pure fantasy and abstractions, but you truly can bring in reality, bring in what you can truly perceive in both effect and what undeniably is intelligent and alive and awake and here with us. To have that trust and faith that there are higher beings always playing within our depth. In our innermost being, we have the Christ. And that is what is important here to now remember. We need to deepen ourselves as individual human beings. For if we only expand outwards, focusing on the outer world, you lose your own sense of self to a high degree. But we are meant to hold that balanced, completely balanced, neither losing yourself within yourself nor losing yourself out in the world. You are meant to always be there in a sense. And the more you develop your spiritual and esoteric faculties, the more you can stay steady and strong and consistent in that. And impulses start to come from within your own inner being. You do not anymore need outer impetuses to start something or to be inspired by something necessarily. You can be inspired from your own inner being. Sitting, closing your eyes, holding still, and from that silence, inspiration comes, or might come, if we are in the right, proper, respectful, and dignified and decent state of being, for holding our own inner being as clean as possible. And we are not infallible or perfect, so of course we need to balance constantly. It is a practice, but it is worth it. It is always worth it. We would want to master our own inner being, right? Our thinking and our feeling and directing our will to a healthy degree. And love is it is the most healing force in the whole of the cosmos and the hierarchy. For love, the warmth, true, divine, cosmic love, it is something completely different than this surface level chemical, and it is not the same. It truly isn't. It truly is something that we have to put our effort and attention to cultivate and grow, like you would with a plant. But this is something that is far more delicate and needs more attention than a plant would, because it is something that nourishes us, and constantly we need to nourish it for it to nourish us. It truly is a cooperation between us and the hierarchy. For by holding strong to your inner being, outwards, for what comes out, it is all about what comes out of your being, is the color and tone of your soul, So wishing to making that as beautiful as possible, aspiring to make it so that we can help and be much more of a healing factor than we are of a destructive factor. That is what we aspire toward, to also be able to receive from the higher realms, for we kind of have lost that ability to truly receive insights and knowledge in a true and, sacred way. For knowledge is sacred, and we shouldn't misuse it or disrespect it, or it truly is something sacred. And holding something sacred, is a good practice. For you take something and you elevate it to something divine. Why not do it with everything over time? For we are all divine, and everything around us is. Even the lower beings, the backward spirits that didn't develop fully in the last cycle, that is here and is lagging behind, also are love. For by having them here, the adversary forces, which at one point was a good force, but if we put it today here, it is an unhealthy force, because it doesn't fit today in the state and the stage of our development. We do develop constantly, so we are. It is all about this physical body will disappear. It will fall away. So from your inner being, what is residing within your vessel, that you're meant to become aware of that and find the spiritual faculties that is kind of outside of your physical body. You're kind of meant to loosen your spiritual being a little bit from your body, so that you can both have the perception of your physical and the spiritual. It is a balance again. It is everywhere. It literally is everywhere. As far as when the human being is in focus here as is concerned. But love, compassion and warmth, these forces, as I have mentioned, is something we hold and sustain actively within our own inner being. These forces allows us for redemption and for the healing and balm of the soul. For without it, we will dry up and become bitter and cold and become husks of what we truly are meant to be. Our soul is what truly brings light, love, color, warmth, tone to the world, and your spirit is the activity that allows for such experiences. For, there are so many mysteries and so many secrets that the universe and this earth development holds, that, like Thoth said in, that emerald tablet, in that emerald tablet book, and I saw mysteries in men and I was glad, because, there is no end to this. There is constant development, constant growth and constant learning, And the more you absorb, the more you take in with your being, your soul, the richer, the deeper, and the broader it becomes, the bigger it becomes. So you can also inspire others to also become that, big. Feel that they are part of this development, for you are. You really are. You always have been. And the more you connect and not losing yourself and finding yourself insignificant or, well, overestimating yourself. It is a both. You see, it's two extremes and we are in the middle, staying in the middle. And that is what I will leave you with today. May Father, Holy Spirit, Christ, Michael, ancient masters of old, ancestors from every incarnation, bless, protect, guide, and love you, and may the Godhead, Seraphim, Cherubim, Thrones, Kyriadetes, Dynamis, Exousiae, Archai, Archangels, and Angels keep you safe and guided and protected, and may you be provided with all that you need to survive, live, and thrive and be creative and inspirational, so others can be the same if they choose to. May you be safe and sound. Thank you. Love you. Goodbye.